So if you have an intuition about something, let's say, should I wear pink pants today or should I wear blue pants today, right? Mm-hmm. It's like, you don't know. What do I do? Pink pants or blue pants? And you just take a moment and you become present with that inquiry in your body. You use your body as an instrument of attunement, and then you feel into pink, blue or pink, and what is going, because I'm just saying that because I'm wearing pink pants. And what feels more resonant, right? What lands in a more harmonious way in the body, causes less constriction. It's like, oh, pink pants, okay. And then you take that and you test it. You're like, well, what if I wear pink pants and I run into someone that I know? Like, how's that gonna feel? What if I wear pink pants and I run into someone I really like? Like, how's that gonna feel? You test it against different scenarios. And if in all those scenarios it still resonates, like, yeah, if I run into someone I know, I want to be wearing pink pants. If I run into someone I kind of like or I have a crush on or I want to avoid, I want to be wearing my pink pants. If it continues to be a yes, then that is the right answer for you in that moment.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Blue Hour podcast, where we explore the minds and the worlds of visionary artists and creators. So in this lunar segment, I sat down with Bita, Zahedi, Majd in a temple in California. And in this segment, you're going to see a bit more of the raw visionary, where we are talking more about what really leads a visionary, which is trauma, intuition, and also the shadow self. A quick production note before we start. You'll notice this episode is presented without the usual studio video. Bita and I decided that the visual angles from our recordings didn't capture the essence of what was being shared, so we decided to keep this conversation projected in the audio realm. So you'll see in this episode, as in the last one, you're going to see this beautiful Australian sunset footage from my trip there a few years ago. And we'll be back in the next episode with the full studio video. But for now, I invite you to settle in and focus entirely on the audio. We're about to discuss how to distinguish fear from intuition using something Bita calls the pink pants test. It's a game changer. Also, for all of those who applied to the Visionary Roze gift, December 15th is when we're gonna have our live event. It's gonna be broadcast on Instagram Live. So you can follow our channel at Umbra, and you're going to see us announce the winners, as well as having a discussion with Nika, founder of the Origin Center in Spain, and a little overview of visionary art throughout the years to give you insights into why the vision of Umbra came about and its real purpose. So let's jump right in. Yeah, so for the second segment, I had mentioned to you that if you have a practice, can be a guided meditation or something that you feel by gifting this to the audience, it's a practical way that they can integrate whatever we discussed, whatever's on your heart right now, that you would like to share, that's practical.
Okay, let me sit with that for a second.
Yeah,
because there are so many roads we can go down with that. It's going to tune in with what the general audience would find helpful. So a practice that would help your audience integrate this conversation.
Yeah, not necessarily even this conversation. It can be something that you've led in the past with different ceremonies or different retreats that students have found very useful. And okay, can I refine this a little bit? Mm-hmm. For me, you're a visionary. Like, you have since it feels like from the story you've shared at the beginning, from a child you were led by vision, right? Like, you were seeing stuff literally, but also the vision of the collective, natural suffering and the unbalances has led you to move throughout your life. So you are the definition of a true visionary. Maybe you don't see yourself as that, but I really see that in you, like the fact that you're actively doing change. You're not just talking about it, you're doing it.
Right.
So, and my podcast is all about visionaries. Like there's a visionaries for the creative artists, not necessarily artists, but anyone that has the creative flame and that wants to do something. You have it innately. So it can be even a tip to activate this force, you know, that's often dormant because it's society doesn't encourage, you know, the rebellious type of, no, this isn't work, we're going to do something about it type of energy. So it could be something like that that I feel is your superpower that's behind everything you do, kind of thing.
Wow, I love your questions. So, first of all, you're correct. And that's a very astute observation that you're sharing. And also very validating for me to hear. So thank you for vocalizing and verbalizing your vision, your perspective. I'd say, in terms of how I relate to my gifts of vision, which are very, very real and very strong, and they are just gifts that life bestowed upon me. It has to do with having a very strong and clear and trusting relationship with our intuition, and our intuition, everyone's intuition, my intuition, your intuition, the listener's intuition, the viewer's intuition, all of our intuition is all of our superpower. That is where all our truth resides. That is where all our clarity resides. That is where all our answers and all our guidance resides, is inside of our intuition. So cultivating a practical relationship with our intuition is a highway. It's a fast highway to being able to follow our truth, follow our heart, and fulfill our purpose. So, and that's something that everyone can do, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything. You don't have to pay anyone to access that. It's within you already. It's something you're born with. It never goes away. Nothing tarnishes it. And no one can take it from you.
I have a question. I feel like the relationship with anger also has something to do with that. And I say that because it's a very Martian type of energy that, like in an esoteric way, this Martian energy forces the Kundalini energy to rise and open the third eye. So that's literally the force of the will that opens up. The intuition would be almost like the Kundalini itself. But it needs kind of this force, this brute force to be activated. What activated it for you? This really kind of force, like, no, that's not how it's gonna work. I'm gonna do something about it.
For me, trauma activated that force inside of me. Yeah, experiencing really, really severe trauma at a very, very young age really activated that inside of me. And for some reason, for many reasons, instead of becoming a victim of the trauma, even at such a young, small, vulnerable age, I immediately decided and had a knowingness that this is not going to break me. I made that decision, even though, it was, a very volatile situation, or many very volatile situations that I experienced. I made a very deliberate decision that this is not going to break me. It can hurt me, and obviously, made me deeply sad. But I didn't let it break me. And with that came this sort of awakening, like you're saying, like it just came this awakening of a lot of different senses that I have since learned to harness, taking my wounds and turning them into my gifts, right? Taking the situation that could have made me a victim and instead becoming a victor. Taking trauma and turning it into triumph. And alchemizing pain into power, and doing that through the gifts of intuition. And that is something that is accessible and available to everyone, to every human being, no matter what our backgrounds are or what our circumstances are. It's just a decision we have to make. And but what really promotes that, what really helps that, is to be in a state of gratitude, to be in a state of gratitude, to be in a state of awe, to be in a state of wonder, really opens up the intuition. And because if we're not in a state of awe and wonder and gratitude at just the miracle of being alive, it's really hard for us to even hear our intuition within ourselves. Whether our intuition lives in our gut or in our, dantian, or up in our, like wherever in our heart, wherever our intuition lives inside of us, slowing down enough to listen to that voice that is nobody else's, authentic to ourselves, and resonates in the deepest core part of our being as like, this is the way, this is the truth. And what you can do is you can test. So if you have an intuition about something, let's say, should I wear pink pants today or should I wear blue pants today, right? It's like, you don't know. What do I do? Pink pants or blue pants? And you just take a moment and you become present with that inquiry in your body. You use your body as an instrument of attunement. And then you feel into blue or red, pink, blue or pink. And what is going, so I'm just saying that because I'm wearing pink pants. and what feels more resonant, right? What lands in a more harmonious way in the body, causes less constriction. It's like, pink pants, okay. And then you take that and you test it. You're like, well, what if I wear pink pants and I run into someone that I know? Like, how's that going to feel? What if I wear pink pants and I run into someone I really like? Like, how's that going to feel? You test it against different scenarios. And if in all those scenarios it still resonates, like, yeah, if I run into someone I know, I want to be wearing pink pants. If I run into someone I kind of like, or I have a crush on, or I want to avoid, I want to be wearing my pink pants. If you test that hypothesis or that intuition against different scenarios, and if it continues to be a yes, then that is the right answer for you in that moment. And then you take that very trivial decision-making process and you apply it to every single thing you do in your life. And you start to become really adept at listening to your body, listening to yourself about what's right and what's wrong for you in that moment. And when you start to live your life according to that inner compass, you can't go wrong. You just can't. There is an inherent algorithm to truth that aligns everything in the universe to be in your favor all the time. And so the more you hone that skill and that art, the more you can tap into your own superpower and what you're here to do for yourself and for others. And yeah, for some people that comes naturally. For some people that's like a daily practice. You have to make time, slow down, and tune in and ask yourself, ask your body, and listen to what comes through and start to understand, like, where is that voice? What does it sound like? What is its frequency? What is the sensation? What is the feeling? And become familiar with that voice. And it will never lead you astray because it comes straight from source, through you, according to your particular constitution and what your path is destined to be. And so I would say that if there is one single kind of superpower secret or tool that I would want to share with your listeners in terms of optimizing their human experience, and really entering into realms of just like unfolding magic and miracles, that is the foundation of it. Is intuition.
And I have a follow-up question because of your rising Cancer.
Okay.
Because that's your very strong Martian energy that drives you to do everything you do. But what about the Cancer? It's kind of like the opposite force. What's your relationship with vulnerability? That's my question.
Good question, again.
Because I feel like it's the opposite. Like, I feel like the intuition is kind of in between asserting your will and kind of melting into like non-beingness, where like you have no secrets and you just can, whatever the shadows are inside of you. Because I know I have lots of Cancer, and there's a tendency to not to hide behind inside yourself and perhaps assert your will, sometimes to hide whatever's inside. And sometimes I feel there's kind of such a healing and of a release when you're vulnerable with your deepest secrets, and you're just like, this is me. And then you're like, whoa, okay, I don't have to hide in it. For Cancers especially, it can be so I'm wondering if this speaks to you.
Yeah, so I feel like the decision to agree to this podcast and have it be recorded in all the ways it's being recorded is me being vulnerable.
Okay.
And seen, and exercising that and consciously practicing that, in order to cultivate that more. So.
But is it something that has been hard and challenging for you, like speaking in these types of environments before?
Yeah, it has been. Not necessarily hard and challenging. I'm not necessarily intimidated by it, but this is part of me healing a childhood trauma around being seen for who I am.
Okay.
And so I'm sort of finally ready to not hide my gifts and be seen. Not that I'm actively seeking to be seen, but when the invitation comes, like in the situation with you, I'm very deliberately accepting and saying yes, in order to show myself that it is safe to be seen, and it's creating kind of that kind of repair in my system. And so for me, this is very vulnerable. Maybe to the outside it doesn't seem very vulnerable because so many people are out there and putting themselves out in really, really big ways. But for me and sort of the trauma that this is related to inside of me, this is like big deal. And just kind of making myself vulnerable to both praise and judgment, being projected upon both as someone who's a visionary and also someone who is like arrogant or whatever people's projections are, and basically making myself available for that, which is what you do when you choose to be seen and heard publicly, is you say, okay, I am comfortable with being a projector screen because I know myself well enough and I'm secure in myself enough that neither of it bothers me. Like, you could be praising me or you could be criticizing me, and to me, I'm just seeing who you are versus having that make me feel any differently about myself, because my sense of value and validation does not come from the external environment. Sometimes it's triggered or stimulated by the external environment, but at the beginning and end of the day, I am a sovereign being, and so I've cultivated that very, very consciously. So in this moment, this is vulnerable for me, and in other moments, then I cry publicly, or in a conversation, or in a situation where you wouldn't expect someone to cry, and I'll just cry because it feels good and because it's liberating, and that's vulnerable to do.
But I'm asking, and I feel it's very valuable that you are sharing all of this, because I feel that's my perception, that the collective feminine is suffering, and there is kind of a shame for emotionally suffering. And I'm the biggest emotional sufferer of the past. Like I had the most repressed, like I was almost dragged in the subterranean water currents just because I was afraid of feeling. So sharing about this vulnerability, and it just showcased the like, without needing to go in details about the trauma, from where you came to now being your true self, and the impact that it now has, that you are able to be seen without fearing the judgment, and the impact that this will have from people hearing your authentic voice because of that, is important, I think, to share, but also to heal the feminine within men and women that are hiding in their shells, right?
Yeah. So. Oh, well, I hope that's helpful, and I'm happy to share about the specific incident if that helps others feel like they can have permission to be open about our shadows, right? The things that we hide, the things that we're ashamed of, the things that we avoid because they're just so painful, or they're not really the kind of memories that we want to be having about our lives or our childhood. I have no qualms about that, especially if it would help other people that are maybe not further along in their path of healing.
I mean, there's no. I have other questions we can ask, and I'm sure you have had other opportunities to share that people can find, maybe in the future as well.
Yeah.
The question that I've created this 3-part question that I feel for every guest that I have gives kind of actually maybe this will integrate in this. We'll see. So basically 3 questions. The first one, I named it the initiation question. So what gives you the most joy in your life, that let's say like you've been through a lot of emotional pain as a child, but there was always this part of you that experienced joy doing one thing and that kind of through this joy allowed you to be all the way where you are now. What is this source of joy that you get from doing everything you do? Like almost the electric current. What is this electric current?
There is this knowingness inside of me that I am of this world, but that I'm in this world, but not of this world. My father was a magical, mystical, extraordinary ascended being, and had a profound relationship with the cosmos and the stars, and space, and was, an incredible researcher of the universe, and having that connection to the universe and knowing that there are realms beyond this is probably the thing that has the current that has pulled me through everything, and has been sort of like the weaving thread in all the stories of the chapters of my life.
Wow. Okay, and this leads to the second question, the descent. So if there is this kind of magnetic pull that perhaps was verbally transmitted to you through your grandpa, like this inspiration he transmitted to you.
My father.
Oh, it's your father, sorry. What shadow or fears have you had to encounter along the way that kind of was always pulling you back from this? And what have you had to let go to face that fear or that shadow? Because we all have the positive that brings us, but sometimes there's the Saturnian force that comes and disrupts it. What was it for you that often came in the way?
What was the fear?
Yeah, like you said, like it was kind of this awe that there's something like bigger, but what in your life came and interfered at certain moments of your life where you were disconnected from that pull, that energy that was transmitted from your father to you?
So what came into my life, just so I can give you an accurate answer, I kind of want to get a better sense of the question. What was that interrupting energy that created disruption?
Yeah.
In my life?
Yeah. That for, let's say you're born, you die, and there's a current, and sometimes you're in the current and you vibrate, and then there's interference because there's fear that comes in and doubt and this and that. What were these main obstacles from your birth to now? Like not necessarily just like descriptive moments, but what would you identify as like, yeah, however you want to go is good.
Just feeling into, what is the most accurate response to this kind of disruptive source of fear in my life's trajectory. Like what is the root of that, from kind of the question that you're asking. And it's an interesting one. It's an interesting question. I mean, I can say, like on an obvious level, I can say trauma, abuse, volatility, aggression, definitely was like, disrupted that kind of magical connection. And so that, but that's a very pragmatic response to your answer. Probably the deeper response is like, well, what was the effect of that? And the effect of that was this belief of being unlovable, that trauma created in me, or this belief that I'm undeserving or unworthy of love, or being cared for, or being treated right. That belief definitely caused a lot of disruption in my life, and a lot of pain over the course of many years, until I was able to get to a place of identifying it. And what I had to let go of, to the second part of your question, was someone that I was married to and thought was loved by, and having to let go of that really kind of shook me out of that particular pattern of manifesting pain as a form of love, and realizing that this isn't love. This is not what love could ever be. And instead, this is like a trauma bond. This is a manifestation of of wounding that I mistakenly, in a misguided way, equated with love because it's all I knew. And then having to let that go was one of the most brutal and painful things that I've ever done in my life. But then what came of that, the gift that came of that,
and that's my third question, is the rebirth.
The gift that came of that was the liberation from the shackles and the limitations of that belief system, which continued to cause me a lot of pain and suffering. And so letting that go in the hardest, most brutal way, that like totally shattered me to my core and in my soul, and then putting myself back together, it's like, oh, in a completely new reconfiguration, it's like, oh, like it's a rebirth. It's a complete and absolute rebirth. And I'm just so grateful to all of that pain and hardship and suffering and loss for guiding me to this place of experiencing a kind of love or forms of love I didn't even could ever imagine were possible. So I think that's probably like the truest, most vulnerable answer to your question.
Wow. Yeah, it's beautiful, and I do this sequence of 3 questions because they do imitate the cycle of everything in the world. Is the Holy Trinity, like, and we all go through these 3 steps in our life, but we never share them. And I think sharing them one after the other empowers us to go through them with awareness, and like for you what saved it seems to be a gratitude and kind of embracing it, and a knowledge that you can reinvent yourself once everything is kind of in its most essential, like when there's a fire, like then everything is disintegrated and fertilized for a new beginning. So thank you for sharing that. That's I'm sure this will resonate with lots of people watching this. And yeah, it's a bit of a harsh transition. Maybe I should the flash question.
Oh, it's all right. It's all right. It's the archetype of the phoenix. The firebird, and just dissolving into ashes in the fire of transformation and transmutation, and then completely dissolving. And then from that dissolution inside of the ashes, just rising anew. And that process of rebirth and renewal it's universal, right? We all go through it in our own ways, in our own versions, to our own levels of intensity or frequency. But it's still that capacity to continue to move and flow and grow despite the hurdles of life.
And have like hope. Like hope is kind of like knowing, and that's why like these kinds of conversations, that's what it offers to people that are maybe in the initial stage of like the violence or whatever, or maybe they're in the aftermath of like completely lost, feeling disintegrated, unwhole, and or maybe they're in the rebirth, but sharing it kind of offers this hope that like everyone goes through these cycles. It's a natural part of our souls, and that's how it actually evolves. So that's why I like this question a lot, these questions. To end, quick answers. There's like 9 questions, and you can answer as short as you can. What's a recurring symbol in your life?
These are not quick questions.
You can just answer like, what's a symbol? Without having to explain it. It's really
okay.
They're challenging sometimes to find the answer.
Yeah, it's like, so many symbols come through.
What's the main one, like now? Today.
Today, the recurring symbol in my life today.
Well, if it's easier to recall.
Oh gosh, okay, I'm suddenly having I feel like I'm having a hard time to access my vision.
Okay, maybe you're allowed one pass.
All of a sudden. Okay, I'm sorry, definitely not able to give you really quick answers to this exercise.
Yeah, maybe it's not a flash question.
Sometimes there's flashes, but in this moment, I don't really have a clear answer for that.
Sure.
So it's somehow, I'm sorry, I'm not seeing anything clearly.
That's an answer.
Yeah, I don't have a clear answer for that.
The book that changed your understanding of life, a book that changed, that was very meaningful for you.
Oof, wow. The Big Leap.
By, remember that one?
By Gay Hendricks, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, The Big Leap was completely mind-blowing for me when the first time I came across it and read it. It just completely altered my relationship to life altogether. It is a book that talks about self-sabotage and how we are wired to only a certain level of success in any area of our lives because our nervous system just can't handle anything past our comfort zone. And sometimes our comfort zone is suffering. That is our comfort zone. And even if something isn't good for us, but it's familiar to us, that's what we continue to, that's the pattern we continue to create and manifest and stay within. And if anything gives us, if we have an opportunity to go past that, our system, our subconsciousness, and our nervous system will block us from going any further and sabotage that whole situation because it perceives it as dangerous and a threat. And before I read that book, I didn't know about this and was in a frequent loop of self-sabotaging. And then I came across this concept and it just completely altered my relationship to my subconscious. So I mean, there's just so many books. And I love books. But that one was very much like a seminal text that sort of shifted the direction of how I related to life.
Great, and hopefully people will research and
look up The Big Leap. It's really, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's Gay Hendricks.
I guess I call them flash questions, but they're but for me they're flash because like thunder, there's so much power in it. Like every answer, there's condensed energy that brings light to everyone hearing it. So
call it thunder questions.
Thunder questions. Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's a better one. Recent meaningful dream.
Ooh. Recent meaningful dream.
Are you someone that dreams?
Oh yeah, I dream.
Cancer usually.
Vividly. I dream lucidly. I dream vividly. I dream so much that I wake up exhausted from dreaming. I do. I'm just like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted. That was such a big dream. And there's been so many good ones lately. I had a dream last week during this retreat that we were co-hosting. Out of nowhere, I had this dream. This person that in my life has been a very malicious and malevolent figure and caused me a lot of pain and was part of kind of why my marriage fell apart, has been sort of like this threatening figure in my subconscious because of the amount of pain, obviously, and suffering that this person caused. And I had a dream that it's a female. I had a dream that she was in this house and she wasn't welcome in this house. And every room that she tried to go to in this house, nobody really wanted her in that room. And then I ended up going into a room where she was, and I looked her in the face, and she looked so sick and tired and aging and kind of just worn down and worn out and kind of repulsive in some ways. And I realized in the dream that this thing that I've been afraid of for so long, afraid of facing, is actually something that is really quite diseased and in a lot of suffering. And it just like dispelled the fear right away, right then and right away in the dream. I was like, oh, I don't need to be afraid of this anymore.
That's crazy. Yeah.
This doesn't have any power over me anymore. This fear, this like irrational subconscious fear. And so I woke up, I was like, wow, that was an interesting dream. So that's what comes to mind just in this very moment. But
I think this is I think that's my favorite conversation, talking about dreams, because, and this segment, by the way, is going to be called something like Behind the Blue Veil. So like before that, the discussion, we're talking about kind of the outline of your sun, you know, what are you shining upon the world? And this is more like what's inside the moon, your moon, you know? So
so beautiful.
The dream is more like what is really going on in the subconscious realm of your being.
Right.
And I don't know, hopefully bring discussion towards understanding and reflecting on your dreams to understand what's really going on behind the scenes. And this is such a beautiful example because you know you're doing the work and you're paying attention and you're putting your will, your Martian energy in the right direction in your life, when the opposite direction there is some stuff unlocking itself naturally. So like this fear, you might be trying to understand it in the external, and all of a sudden you dream about it, and then you know it's a release, when in the dream, how you react in the dream becomes a release that you would want in the external world. So that kind of you know that, boop, okay, now this is unlocked, and you can move to another. So I love these questions about dreams.
Thank you for that dream interpretation. That was really helpful.
Oh, that's how I see it. A color that holds special power to you.
Purple.
Oh, okay.
Without a doubt. Purple, lilac, lavender, that whole color scheme drives me crazy.
Interesting. I've had a new relationship with this color recently. Because before I was always associating myself with red, although not that much, like because of my Aries, you know, Western astrology, and then in the Eastern, I'm Pisces, and I'm blue, and I'm always dressed in blue. Now I'm in black, and then I realized that the secret is merging both colors together and creating this purple. Both hemispheres unite into the purple flame that rises up. So I relate with that color.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I can stare at purple all day, every day.
The theme color of Roze Umbra is also kind of a dirty purple. So like the sunset type of purple.
Oh my
gosh. Which is like a earthy purple type.
Oh my God, purple is, there's nothing more beautiful than purple.
Yeah, I really like it too. Your spirit animal. That's guiding you right now.
That's guiding me right now?
Yeah, in your current life. That's a really interesting question. That's a really, really interesting question, because I have an actual spirit animal that was given to me by one of the indigenous traditions that I train in, and it was an animal that came forth from the forest through journey that my spirit went on, my soul really, and so it was just kind of like in another dimension that all of this happened, and then that was like really set. And it was this beautiful lioness that was then designated as my spirit animal, if you would call it that, spirit animal. And that was then sort of bound to my soul to always be with me. She's always with me wherever I go. And I can, I have a special relationship with her, and she's always guiding me and always kind of watching out for me and watching out for me in all the different dimensions. And I can also send her on various missions. And so, that gives me a lot of comfort, because I'm just like, you can't really, like, you gotta get past her. So good luck with that. It reminds me of the tarot card. In the 12th deck, it's the last card. And it's like a woman naked on a lion. and it's the pure Kundalini energy, basically. And you know, in astrology, Leo, the lion, is connected with the sun. The sun is the soul, like even in Spanish, soul. So I feel like this spirit animal is a reflection of your soul.
Yeah.
It is kind of like activating your solar masculine self that is, you know, this ball of light and radiating energy, you know, plasmic energy that is always protecting you, has always been, and that you return to, you know, your body goes back to earth, and so it feels like it could be symbolized by this soul connection that is moving through you, perhaps.
Yeah, that definitely resonates. I mean, I have definitely a special relationship to a lot of different creatures, especially birds, especially little birds. I mean, obviously I love the big birds. Who doesn't? But the little birds are my favorite. And lizards, blue morpho butterflies. You know, I was just in Costa Rica and we were in this jungle and just all these blue morpho butterflies would fly by. It just blew my mind. You know, all the beautiful ants. Like, I'm just obsessed with ants. I just like would walk around videotaping all the ants carrying little leaves. I'll show you later. It's just like I could do it for hours. So yeah, I have just so much love and just fun with all the animals. But in terms of the spirit animal, in terms of the spirit realm, I've been designated one, and that's kind of.
And the reason why I like this question too is like for the unconscious mind, all creatures of the earth are personify certain character traits within us. So if you know the person's spirit animal, you can understand what character is trying to kind of, almost like a software that wants to be integrated almost, or is integrated perhaps. So it gives like some added information. Meaningful smell?
Neroli.
Okay.
Yeah.
And last question. Sound that brings you back to yourself.
A sound that brings me back to myself. Morning birds. Morning bird song. Like bird song in the dawn hours, early morning, the first like bird songs. It's probably my favorite sound.
Perfect.
Yeah. And brings me back to myself, I would say, yeah.
Thank you so much for answering all of these questions.
Thanks for asking. Like, I've never even considered a lot of them.
I feel like people that actually know you, perhaps, or that don't know you, through this will like know a lot more than most people know, just because it's like, it's your subconscious self. It's kind of like your inner self that kind of is revealed through these kind of questions. And you, like, this information you can't do much with. The only thing you can do is understand you better, or like, so thank you.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you guys for watching. Hope you liked this. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. It really helps the channel grow, and it takes 2 seconds. Most of you guys that are watching this are not even subscribed, so just press the subscribe button. It really helps. And next week, you're gonna see me have a conversation with a professional mystical astrologer in New York. So you won't want to miss this one out next Monday. Until next time, much love and light to all you guys.